Hey, everybody. Welcome to AOPA's Flight School Business Quick Tips from the Field. Today, we're joined by Chris Erlinson from Tennessee Flight Training. I know that at Tennessee Flight Training, you have expanded and not the typical flight school in terms of, a lot of folks will say they'll have one, maybe two locations, but how many locations is it that you guys are out to now?
We're at 5 total right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that we have spoken before too, and the reason this occurs to me is because the mention you talked about of the manuals.
hmm
So one of the biggest challenges I think that folks see is when trying to expand a business, they have something that really works at that one location, and then they expand out and they start to lose it because it's difficult in spreading it. How have you done it, and how
Oh
how has it
man.
worked?
So it's actually really funny. So when we were looking at opening up our first satellite location, I said, okay, we got to have manuals. We got to have manuals. We got to figure this out. We need to document as much as we can, and so we went and we documented what we could, and we opened up our first satellite location. And then we came up with a whole new list of questions where it's like, oh no, we haven't talked about this, and this, and this. And so going through that first location, that was really that was the true genesis of us coming up with solid manuals for everything.
Yeah,
Like we needed that first location to remind us of what we hadn't thought about. We needed that first location to remind us of the things that we had forgotten to document. And so once we gotten through that first location and writing down a bunch of holes and writing down a bunch of questions,
mm,
then we were able to go back and answer those questions and fill in those holes. And then when it came time for our second, third, and fourth satellites, we had everything documented, and it made it so much easier. And onboarding, oh my goodness, I recently hired one guy that he's one of our base managers, and we gave him the book, we gave him the document, and said, read through this manual. And he goes, okay, sure, I love manuals, great, all right. So he read through the manual. He went through about 4 days worth of training with us, where he worked in our headquarters, our Nashville office. And within 2 weeks, the guy began talking and acting like he'd been there for 10 years. And it was just like, it really, really made us feel good of, okay, we have empowered him to be part of the team. And so like now today, you never know that he's the new guy. You
yeah.
never know because he knows the vernacular, he knows the ethos of who we are as a company, he knows the things, the ways to answer the questions,
Mm.
he knows the things to say, and and it was a plug and play for us. It really was.
Unplanned question, because this just came up as you were speaking there too, that I was just thinking about. Um, I imagine you're getting somebody that can come on board and do that. The success you're having in onboarding, there's got to be something. There's got to be some secret sauce maybe in your interview process. Is there anything that you can point at or you're willing to share?
I'll
Like,
tell
how do
you
you find these
this.
folks?
Yeah, I'll tell you this. A big part of a big part of us picking out the right people, and you're going to laugh when I tell you this. It is picking out people that have nothing to do with aviation.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I know that's really a really strange thing to say and a really obtuse way to look at it, but the people that I have brought on board are are people that understand communication and that understand interacting with people.
Okay.
And that's the main thing. Airplanes is secondary. Airplanes is secondary. Primary is people.
Hmm.
That's like, if you take the people out of the business, you don't have a business. If you take the airplanes out of the business, we can fudge our way around and do some simulator stuff, and we can do ground school, and we can work through that. But really and truly, at our core and who we are, we're in the people business. So the hires that I bring on board, they're not aviation experts, they're not even pilots. And again, that's on purpose, because I want people that are about people
Hmm.
and that is what drives the business.
Cool.